From Galatians. Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. For each one should carry their own load. Sounds like the truth. We know it to be the truth, but why is that so hard? Why is that such a hard thing? Think about it like this. Here's another question. Do you want to date the same person that everybody else has already dated? Do you want the same spouse that everybody else has? Do you want to wear the same clothes that everybody else wears? Do you want to have the same perspective, the same viewpoint as everybody else? Is that what you want? Do you want to drive the same car? Do you want to eat the same food? Do you want to live in the same house as everybody else? Do you want to earn the same amount of money? Do you want to have the same job? Do you want to take the exact same trips, eat the same foods, the same restaurants as everybody else? I don't. And deep down, I just can't imagine that you do either. There is going along to get along. There is certainly danger in being the outlier. We don't want to be out there on our own. I get that. Think back to when you were a kid. Growing up, so I'm 46. I was born in the 70s, 1978. And growing up, I had no idea what kids in different parts of the world were doing. I didn't know what kids in France were doing or Italy or Nairobi. I had no idea what they were doing. I didn't know what kids in Florida were doing. I didn't know what kids in California, what kind of music that they were listening to, or the kind of language they used, the kind of jokes that they made. I mean, I only knew what my friends and I were doing. I didn't even know what kids were doing in a town 20 miles away. The jokes that we made, the kind of games that we played, the things that we thought about, the way that we talked, our vernacular. I didn't know what anybody else was doing, but that's just not the case anymore. Today, everybody knows everything. We all know everything. That's because we're all just mainlining the same information. We're all tapped into, jacked into the same source, right? We have the internet, social media that I know everything. I know everything that's going on all the time, everywhere. Just boom. And when AI continues or progresses, take it to its natural conclusion, it's going to be so much worse because I'm just going to have all the world's knowledge coursing through my veins and all new information assimilated immediately as it's put online. So our just collective knowledge is all going to be the same. We're all just going to be a nameless, faceless, hive-minded kind of a person. Does that sound good? Ugh. There's nothing to talk about anymore then. There will be no unique knowledge, no specialized skills, no individual perspective. And like I was talking about earlier, I think that we can all agree that that's not a good thing. And that's not something that we should be striving towards to just be part of a blob. But that's kind of where we're going. But that's already what we're doing today in terms of our happiness. But what does it take to really become happy? How do you become a happy person? It's just pretty simple. You just have to let yourself be happy. You have to allow yourself to be happy. Well, George doesn't, why wouldn't I want to do that? Well, for a million reasons. You don't want to let yourself be happy. You're ashamed of things. You're guilty of things. I don't know. There's a lot, but, well, whatever they are, they're there and it's real. So it's a lot harder than it sounds to simply allow yourself or let yourself be happy. It's not an easy thing. It's not easy at all. Not an easy thing at all. You just got to do it. Just do it. And as I'm fond of saying, that's a wonderful slogan for selling sneakers and for motivating me to get my butt out of bed and put my shoes on to go move my body. Awesome. But if I don't know how to do it, then I can't just do it. So we have to know how. And that's what I hope to kind of help you with today, as I'm helping myself with it too. Think about all this stuff is I am I am working through all of this stuff in real time as well. Not an expert in really anything. I'm not a happiness expert. I don't claim to be a happiness expert, but I'm on the path and I'm striving. I am seeking. I am exploring. I'm learning. I'm trying really hard to be a happy person. I think I am. It's like goal setting in a lot of ways. It's like goal setting, and we invert the way that we're supposed to be thinking about our goals and our identities. You say, well, once I get that raise or I get that new job, then I'm going to start doing this. And it's kind of like if Michael Phelps had said, well, once I win the gold medal, then I'm going to start training really hard. Like, no, that's not how it goes. You have to start training really hard now so you're able to win the gold medal later. So if you're waiting to be happy once something happens or once some criteria have been met or conditions are just right, then I will be happy. Then I will allow myself to be happy. Well, I think intellectually we all understand that that's a losing proposition right there because life is what happens while we're waiting for conditions to be right or whatever. You'll never get there, or you'll be 90 and I'll be glad for you if when you're 90 you finally become happy. But I would just rather have you go ahead and just do it now. The only way we're going to do that is if we do it on purpose. Have to do this on purpose. There's this beautiful and painful quote from Montesquieu. It says that if we only wanted to be happy, it would be easy. But we want to be happier than other people, and that is almost always difficult, since we think them happier than they are. If we only wanted to be happy, it'd be easy, but we want to be happier than other people, and that is almost always difficult since we think them happier than they are. So it's not that I would just want to be happy. I want to be happier than the other people that I observe, and we think that they are happier than they really are. So we're sort of screwing ourselves over twice by not only just wanting to be happy as an individual, I want to be happier than other people that I'm aware of. And I think that those people that I'm aware of are super happy. So we're really screwing ourselves over. We are overestimating the joy and happiness of other people. We are underestimating our own level of happiness and joy. And we're chasing something that is a fiction. It's not real. And in so doing, we feel like we're behind. Wah, wah, wah. And that's super sucky. That is super sucky right there. It's a recipe for a not a very happy life, for a pretty painful and unhappy existence. So, from Ecclesiastes, and I saw that all toil and all achievement spring from one person's envy of another. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. And I saw that all toil and all achievement spring from one person's envy of another. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. So there you go. Everything that you're working on, everything you're achieving, it's because so many of us envy other people. And that is a fool's errand. It is chasing after the wind. It is stupid. We should stop doing it. Sounds easy, does hard. We're all operating under just a million different systems and a trillion different assumptions, probably dozens of systems and a million assumptions. You've got the different systems and the framework and the way that your family has always done things. You've got your friend groups and how they do things and the clothes that they wear and the songs you listen to and the places that you go on vacation and the car that you drive and the clothes that you wear and the places that you eat, the viewpoints that you have, the political parties that you vote for, the way that you invest your money, the way that you exercise, the diet that you have. Whew, lots. And then expand that out to the different schools that you went to, the different teams you played on, the neighborhoods you lived in, the cities, the states, your country, the coworkers you spend time with. The whole people like us do things like this. People like us do things like this. Okay, good sometimes, not so great other times. And in the context of the reality that we just want to be happier than other people, we're just fighting so many losing battles on so many different fronts. It's a losing game. We're playing a game of comparison. We are playing a game of comparison. And I talked about how I'm not interested in getting the same as you. I don't want the same as you. I don't want the same as anybody. The only thing I'm interested in getting the same thing is the same as is the stock market. I'd like to get the same returns as the stock market, and then I will call that good. Aside from that, I'm not interested in now. I've never been interested in as having the same things as everybody else. Maybe I am an outlier on this one. Maybe you just want the same stuff that everybody else has. Maybe that is what you want. A lot of people act like that, don't they? In fact, most people act like that. But I just don't think that it's what we really want. Again, I think we're just carried along by the currents of life and we're operating under those different systems and assumptions. And to break free of that just requires more effort and pain than is required to simply keep on keeping on. But we need to get moving on it because we're running out of time. We talked about AI. It's so close. It's right there. If it's already too late, it might be. But what happens when it's inside all of us? We won't have any new ideas because we're all working off the same data set and all information is baked into, just like the stock market is considered to be an efficient market where all knowable information is already baked into the price of stocks. Well, that's the same thing with information. It's how it's all going to be. New ideas will immediately be assimilated and all known, so everybody will be the same. Maybe I'm taking this too far, but I don't think so. I think that all thinking is going to just become the same. And when you look around, you see that's how we're sort of segmenting out. Bulk of the population says, I'm a Democrat and I believe in democratic viewpoints, or I'm a Republican, or I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim. We fall in line. And at some point, that's okay. But the point that I am getting at is that it's stagnation to me. It's just stagnation. It's sort of feels like I'm in a awful office building in the basement of some government building, and there's some neon light making that terrible humming noise and just sending out soul-crushing light everywhere. It's kind of a monochromatic black and white sort of existence. Whew, which is obviously the sign of an eventual and obvious decline. So, that doesn't sound good. My goodness. What can we do? Well, here's what I'm building towards. If we only pursued happiness, if we only pursued our own level of happiness, we might actually find it. But it's our desire to win at happiness. I want to win at it. I don't only want to be happy, I want to be happier than everybody else. That's what poisons the well. If we only pursued our own definition and level of happiness, we would be happy. But we don't. We want to win. So here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. Because it's hard. I want you to become a heretic. Become a happiness heretic. A heretic is somebody who goes against existing belief, somebody who goes against power structures. So if the existing belief, the existing assumptions, if the existing structure say one thing, become a heretic against that. Chart your own course. You took the path less traveled, and it has made all the difference. Got to do it on purpose. Did you ever do something to somebody like, oh, was that on purpose? Like, yeah, that was on purpose. I did that on purpose. I am going to be happy on my own terms and on purpose. And be unapologetic about it. So, what is it that makes you happy? Do you know the answer to that question? What makes you happy? Not what you think makes generally people happy, or what makes your friends happy, or what you think makes people happy. What makes you happy? If you could be doing anything, what would you be doing right now? Being grateful is certainly an appreciated or an important thing. Appreciating the things that we have, being happy for them, perspective is invaluable and essential to all of this. But engaging in real conversations and being vulnerable, that reminds us that other people are struggling with all this stuff too. And all of the great vacation videos and the smiling, happy family pictures that we see on the internet, it does make us assume that everybody is perfect and there are no problems. But of course, that's not true because we all struggle with it. So just appreciating it, understanding that, and expressing that to people and to ourselves that it's okay. It doesn't have anything to do with being happy or being more happy or less happy. We're just being ourselves. So I think that whenever we are comparing ourselves, it's a dangerous thing. But I think that the idea of benchmarking versus comparing is valid and important. And I know that as we're measuring progress, when you're measuring your progress against what you perceive other people's progress to be, there's no way that you're going to come out on top of that because it's impossible to know what's really going on with somebody else's situation. You have no idea what's going on with their family and their relationships and their health and their career and their finances and their spirituality and maybe they're dealing with some existential angst there. Who knows? Who knows? You don't. I don't. So stop comparing. I think we could just measure our progress against our own selves, our own values, what is important to us. Think about the ideal version of yourself and measure yourself against that person. But the idea of benchmarking, I think that that's okay. I'm not comparing myself when I say that, at if I'm interested in having $1 million saved up by age 65, a 35-year-old should have this much saved up. That's a benchmark. Or my portfolio is getting a 7% rate of return, and if I hope to get that retirement number that I talked about, it needs to be at 8. Okay, that's a fine benchmark. Versus saying, oh, the Wilson's kids, did you see what they're doing? Their son is on the golf team, and their daughter is in the theater, and they have the happiest marriage ever. Well, that's you don't no, that's the wrong way to go about it. One more idea to throw you away. You're not going to get the exact same thing as everybody, and you don't want the exact same as everybody. But it could be something that's similar. And I think that that's okay. Not the same, but similar. I think that that can work. You can get ideas for your preferences. Because again, if I just asked you what your goals are, you might have a hard time thinking about them because it's abstract. What is it that you want for your life? You're like, whoa, buddy, I'm just trying to get a cup of coffee here and trying to make it to the gym before I go home. So it can be tough. So when I talk about setting goals, it's not just what is it that you want. Think about it in the context of what is most important for your family, for your friends, for your work, your career, your finances, your peace of mind, your well-being. When you start to break it down through prompts like that, then I think we have an easier time to to figure things out. So I'm not saying stop looking at social media. I'm not saying stop. I am saying stop comparing yourself, but you can look for things that you think, oh, well, I like that. And I don't necessarily want the same thing, but something similar to that would be good. Oh, it looks like the beach is fun. So I'm not interested in going and staying at the same place that they stayed, but a beach vacation for my family would probably be awesome. Something that we would enjoy also. It's like we used to look at, or my mom would rather, we always had big copies and stacks of Architectural Digest at the house. She loves interior design. And my mom was a school teacher, so she had champagne taste, but more of a beer budget. And but she was creative and she knew what she wanted. She didn't want the same things as she saw in those magazines. but she wants something similar. She liked the style. She liked the aesthetic of it. She liked certain kinds of furniture or lamps or organizing her house and decorating it in a certain way. And so she was able to get ideas. She was able to refine her preferences and really, put words or images to what she really wanted. And that's a healthy thing. So, not same, but similar. Not comparison, but benchmarking. I think that these are good. Fundamentally, I know that we have to decide what matters. What is it that matters to you? Think about the family, your friends, community, work, money, well-being, personal development, peace of mind. Decide what matters in those areas, then determine what must be done in service of what matters, and then do those things. So decide what matters, determine what must be done in service of what matters, then do those things. Use your imagination, for goodness sakes. Do you want to be happy? I hope so. I hope that yes, you do. And I hope that you're in a position where you can allow yourself to be happy. And stop comparing yourself. Stop trying to get the same. Figure out what will make you happy. Pursue that. Decide what matters. Determine what must be done in service of what matters. Do what matters. Always do your part by doing your best.